Well, I just got back from the gym. There's these two sisters. One's like sort of light skinned, like the nice uh, Cardi B body with the chest. And then there's another sister who's a little bit shorter, a little bit more timid. Every time I go there, neither one of them talks to me, but they both show me the assets. And I'm just like, man, wish I was a younger man, because once I get that, man, that may be it for me. I'm already 52. She's probably like about 23, 24, if that. Once I hit that, I think I'm done. I'm going to heaven or hell after that. So that's my thought of the day. But like, let me show you something. The freeway, when I grew up at 385 East 116th Place, back in the 70s, they had tore down all the houses that were across from my grandmother's house. And it was about a 10 or 15 mile stretch, just a big vacant land. And it sat there for about 20 years. And then about in the in the 60s, but for at least let's say before I graduated in 1986, there was a freeway built across from my grandmother's house. And that's one constant I remember. But then I like coming out and looking to, like, there's a building. If you look over there, there's a building. Let me see if I can get it. It's like all boarded up. It's like a building with about 18 or 19 units that's all boarded up. And I'm in a parking lot right now, and something I never see, if you look at the parking lot behind me, there's like a bunch of cars, people working in an office building. But then there's a sign that says space for lease, 35,000 square feet or 12,000 square feet for rent. And I was thinking back in my old man days, this place used to always be full of cars. The only constant I remember the freeway. There's always a freeway. Even back in the times where the blacks and the whites were fighting, there's always a freeway. Because either if you're black or you're white, red or you're yellow, you got to get somewhere. And the freeway don't discriminate. And I remember parking lots. And like these parking lots used to be full. Now, because of like the technology, like for example, I've been telling you, look at me, I'm talking on the phone. In the old days, there was this place called Hollywood. And this is where they made movies like Star Wars, Lethal Weapon, and all these businesses. But now, they make the films not even in America. They're making it in England, like Pinewood, England, somewhere in Ireland. And there's another place like Thailand or something. So the movie companies don't even make movies in America anymore. I mean, but they want the Americans to watch their movies. Hey, tell me, comment below. What do you think about that? And it just shows you how the world's changed. Like the companies say, either give us the tax cut or we're leaving. That's how it is now. It's not like, you know what? Let's look at the strategy and see what we can do to work with the politicians. Because unfortunately, politicians don't work with the businesses. And also another change that's happened since the great July 2008, 2010 depression. Politicians realize they can't control the economy. They think they can, but all they really can do is give away stuff. Like for example, I'm in California. There's rent control. So I'm looking, I figure about a year or so, once the rent control settles in and people start getting kicked out the units or moved out, and then they'll start hiking the rent. You think the homeless problem is bad now. I mean, it's like if you go, it's sad. I mean, when I was growing up, I remember I took a trip to Yamasa Institute in Hokkaido, Japan. And I remember just walking along the street in Japan, and I asked the people, what happened? Why are there so many homeless people here? And they said, well, Sony and a lot of companies got hit by negative inflation, so they just laid a bunch of people off, and these people haven't been able to find jobs, so they've just moved under the freeways or they stayed on the street. That was my first real international experience dealing with homelessness. And then I came back and I got a job, or I used to drive through downtown LA, and then Skid Row back then was small. Skid Row was actually Skid Row. Skid Row was not all of 7th Street, 5th Street, all over. And that's how it is now, because technology, and then you have some of the companies that are just shutting down because they haven't learned how to sell. And they had like Like, for example, that great 2008 recession, instead of selling, companies learned how to get credit. It's great to go out and get credit, but eventually you got to bring in positive cash flow. But during that great 2008 recession, companies weren't able to get credit, so car dealers, banks, like what else can I think of? I mean, retail was hit. I mean, that was the rise of Amazon. By that 2008 recession helped set up Amazon, because in people's minds they thought, hey, Amazon is cheaper than me going to a store and I'll get a better price. Because unfortunately, we're already heading toward that, where a lot of companies weren't producing anything. But after that great 2008 recession, I mean, it just changed everything. I mean, companies like went to technology, companies moved away. And so now what you have is like, we basically, like, I call it the warehouse society. You have the warehouses where these office buildings, like the one across from me that's closed now, it's been replaced by acre and a half fulfillment / distribution centers, which took the place of the retail sectors, where you had the people who work, people who delivered products. Unfortunately, you didn't have the cashier that did the work. They don't do the work. And so that was part of the problem. So as we head now, and then I was just I give money to the Republican Party, I give money to the Democratic Party, and they were talking about impeachment inquiry going to House. And I want you to think about it. Does it really matter if Trump gets impeached? Did it really matter if Clinton got impeached? If you can't eat, does it really matter? They're taken care of. They have money. They get well compensated. Impeachment, out impeachment. But what about the guy living under the bridge, or the person who thinks, hey, if I pay for this politician, he gives me rent control and that's going to keep my rent stable? But they don't think in their mind, well, if you don't have a place to work, you're not going to have a place. It doesn't matter how many safeguards they put in until they make living in an apartment for free and somebody else has to pay for it. You're going to end up out on your ass anyway. So you're going to move in with your family. If you're not going to move in with your family, you're going to be like some of these other people, traveling homeless. I've been homeless. I tried it for a while. Doesn't work, man. If you begging on the street, man, you beg on the street and get you enough money to get you a place to live, at least for a day. Even if it's Motel 6. And let me tell you, Motel 6 is probably one step from being homeless. Let me tell you. Because the people there, I don't know where they come from. I mean, I used to stay there a lot, and I just saw it was nice and professional. Now it's just like, damn. It's just the technology. 2008 recession, companies moving away, people not knowing how to sell. So what's happened is now the power has all condensed down to the people who know how to market, sell, and negotiate and talk to people. That's it. That's the world we live in. That's why 76% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't know how to sell. So what do they have to do? They got to go for that paycheck. And when you go for that paycheck, unless you have confidence, like, hey, if I get fired or if I stand up for myself that I'll find another job, then you're in trouble, man. So once I saw these impeachment inquiry drops, I'm like, it's coming. You're ready for the 2020 recession. And unfortunately, this time, I don't know how we're going to get out of it, man. Unless we get a lot of people retiring, and that opens up a lot of jobs for people to find work. Especially now, a lot of kids are graduating out of college, and where are they going? Well, did you get a job at Amazon? Calvin, like I told you, Calvin and I worked at Petavina Mold and Dye in Gardena. We worked in a warehouse at least 14,000 square feet. We ran an injection molding machine where I produced myself 5,000 pieces a day for sonic alarms, where I had to go actually solder. There's a thing called soldering, where we started soldering electronics to get the signal to make the alarms work. And that was two of us, and we were making 5 to 10,000 or 500 to 1,000 between the two of us, also running other jobs they have where they were sending parts out. And then there was this giant warehouse. And on top of it, the owner said, Martin, I'm going to move you up this summer. I'm going to want you to handle the front office. But then when we're slow, I want you to call people for checks. And I want you to go door to door and sell my springs. And if you don't do it, bro, you go hang out with your homies, drinking your 40s and not making no money and hoping the county will pay you. So That's how I learned to work. The man taught me early. It don't matter if you're black or you're white. You got to hustle. He said, you need the green, man. So he taught me that. But when I see this 2020 recession, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to get out of it. I mean, I'm thinking there are a few ways. A lot of it involves what happens with China. If China has enough stable economy, somehow China will make some type of agreement with America to do something. And that's how we'll get an influx of cash to help cut down the debt and increase unemployment. Because right now, I'm in California, they don't even make films here. They call Hollywood, what do they call it, the film capital of the world? No, the film capital of the world has moved to Louisiana. What is it? There's a place, Croatia, England. I think there's a place in Ireland. And there's some other places. They even make it here. And they don't even make a film unless you promise to give them some cash. So that's why, and then on top of it, like people who used to make commercials and stuff like me, all I can do now is talk into the phone and tell you how I'm attracted to two sisters at the gym who keep flirting at me, who won't talk to me, who are trying to make me choose between one of them. And that's probably why I'm still single at 52. Gosh. Maybe I need to learn how to split myself. I can't wait till they come out with that VR stuff, man. That's the only way I think I can get married. I can plug into the VR and psychically connect with 10 or 20 women all over the world. Do what we have to do, get off of it, and feel satisfied. Because other than that, man, I feel like I'm like dating one, having an affair with another, just waiting, just living on borrowed time till I get caught. And I don't think I'm that good looking either. But I will pay for her, give her the attention. I will not be a throwaway guy. I call my plate guys. I won't be like some of the guys, put on the earphones, and like they work out with the girlfriends, and then they take it out to hear, she don't want to talk to you, no way, man. She's like, put on the earphone. It just kills me, man. I just, it's bad. It's like, I don't know where we're going to head it, man. But I think now is the time for you to start looking at my material. Go back to my regular materials. I told you how to pay off the student loan. Look, I reduced my student loan from over $90,000 to just below $34,000 heading into 2020. Why don't you look how I paid off my car, my Camry? I paid it off in 19 months. Go learn about how to pay off all that bad debt so you start investing in yourself, getting an education. Don't spend money on Santa, because when January comes, the only bag you may be is in a body bag because you got no money and you decided to jump off a building or something. It is something crazy. But I don't want you to be like that. So I'm getting ready for GrowthCon 4 with Grant Cardone. I got Magic Johnson. Excuse me. I have Rick Warros. I have other speakers. I got to go there. I got to enrich the mind. I got to take that, bring that back to my job. Instead, let my co-workers know, hey, we got to get the money from these clients. Anytime a person calls us for something, they want to give us money, man. And we got to take that money. And when anyone wants to come see your business, they want you to help them. They want you to give you their money. Don't do like the guy I know at Macy's who's like working on his shirts and stuff instead of letting the line back up at the cashier register. So email me, martching2018@gmail.com, martching2018@gmail.com. Getting ready for GrowthCon 4. Let me come by, give you a quick recap. Let me do some sales for you. Let me help you. So I don't come by later after saying, hey, I tried to sell something to this guy, but now his building's all boarded up, or it says 5,000 square foot for lease. I go by his office and it's closed because he's gone out of business. Don't let that be you.